Hello, Namaskar and a very good evening to all the viewers watching our program out there. This is Simran Singh and we welcome you in the live interactive session of NCERT. Well viewers, you are watching this particular live telecast through eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides, you all know that we have so many different mediums through which you all can connect with us. And you can also participate in our live sessions by raising your queries, your questions in the comment section of NCERT official. So it's around 4 p.m. on your watch and regularly from Monday to Fridays at this particular timing, that is from 4 till 5 p.m. We have our special sessions for all of you, and for another 1 hour we are going to discuss on the series on digital initiatives in education, and the title being a Digital Jaadui Pitara and FLN resources, pedagogical uses for learning, teaching and assessment. As you all know that there has been a launch of physical Jaadui Pitara for the students from classes from the age group 3 to 8 years of age, and today we are going to discuss about digital Jaadui Pitara. Now, is it different from the physical one? What all does it encompass? So providing us more insights into the conversation, we are joined by two experts in the studio. I will be introducing you to our experts, but before that, an important piece of information regarding G20 presidency. We are proud of the fact that India assumed the G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in this year. That's 2023. The nation is deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism. India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play a very important role by finding global pragmatic solutions for the well-being of everyone, and in doing so manifesting the true spirit of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, or should I say the world is one family. So in the studio, providing us more insights into digital Jaadui Pitara, we are joined by Professor Indu Kumar ma'am. Namaskar ma'am.
Namaskar.
We welcome you. Ma'am is serving as a head at DICT and TD from CIET NCERT. We are also joined by Dr. Prachi Sharma. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
We welcome you as well. She is Senior Academic Consultant at CIET NCERT. And viewers, in this live interactive session, if you have any of the queries, then feel free to write down to us in the comment section of NCERT official, that is our YouTube channel. Or if you are watching this particular live segment through television, then you all know that we have our contact number. It's flashing on your screen, so feel free to give us a call at 8800 440559. And the specific mail ID is also flashing on your screens. It is training.helpdesk @ciet.nic.in. So let's commence our discussion. So in the first place, Indu ma'am, as we know that Jaadui Pitara has been tailored with the help of different teaching learning materials, that has included flashcards,
right,
magazines, books and a lot more for the children. But what is digital Jaadui Pitara? Is it same as the physical one? What all is in there?
Yeah, that's a very valid question when it comes to the explanation of Jaadui Pitara. And you have very rightly said, Simran, that Jaadui Pitara has already been launched by Ministry of Education through our Honorable Minister of Education on 20th February 2023. And it has a lot of material for learning and teaching for students of the foundational stage, we can say, or the students or the children who are very young. So keeping in view the kind of material that we have on Jaadui Pitara, digital Jaadui Pitara was parallelly developed on Diksha. There are a lot of material which are already there in physical Pitara, but we can also provide the material which are suitable to be disseminated through digital mode through this digital Jaadui Pitara, so that it reaches to our stakeholder very quickly. So digital Jaadui Pitara is already there on Diksha, and anybody can get the learning content from the digital Jaadui Pitara in digital format. They can also download, print and use the content which is already there. So these contents are common in physical Jaadui Pitara also, but some of the contents which are there in physical Jaadui Pitara are there in physical Jaadui Pitara itself, but how to use them have been addressed through digital Jaadui Pitara, through small videos on how to use the content which is already there in physical form, like puppets. There are puppets in physical Jaadui Pitara. There are a lot of story cards in digital Jaadui Pitara, and also other such material, the objects to be handled to develop their gross and fine motor skills. So how to use these material pedagogically have been explained in digital Jaadui Pitara. So that is the beauty of this digital Jaadui Pitara. And also, as we all know, that the ultimate aim of education is to have the all-round development of children, and it should start at a very early stage, and this all-round development includes their physical well-being, their mental well-being, the development of their psychomotor skills in a targeted manners. Their milestones should be at a proper stage. So to address all these concerns and their cognitive development also we have to think about. So to taking all the aspect of all-round development into consideration, this Jaadui Pitara has been developed, and I have already mentioned the elements which are there in digital Jaadui Pitara. To understand more what all are there in this digital Jaadui Pitara, it will be appropriate to take our viewers through this digital Jaadui Pitara, and they must know how to access the contents which are there in this digital Jaadui Pitara, and how to utilize all these material for learning, teaching and assessment of children, and also for their all-round development. So can we access the digital Jaadui Pitara, take our viewers through the digital Jaadui Pitara? So for that we have to use our browser, the browser which we have on our machine, on our device. So let us use the browser and type the URL diksha.gov.in, and you will get onto this page, and the very first banner which is appearing here is Jaadui Pitara. So if we click on to explore, you can see the explore button here. If you click on to the explore button, you will get this digital Jaadui Pitara, and how it appears physically has also been shown in the picture which is demonstrated on the screen. So let us open the digital Jaadui Pitara, and Dr. Prachi will now take you through what all is there in this digital Jaadui Pitara. So you can see here 6 segments, and what all are there in these 6 segments will be explained by Dr. Prachi. Over to Dr. Prachi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So here you can see the 6 categories are visible on the Jaadui Pitara page. First you can see toys, puzzles and puppet category. Here you can get the puzzles and puppet toy based on the stories for digital Jaadui Pitara. Second, you can see the stories and poem for children to listen and read. Third category is playbook and activity sheet for children to use and explore the activity sheet, and they can play, do some activity based on this activity sheet. And the fourth one is a handbook. This handbook is for the teacher to do activities in the classroom. And fifth category is guide for teachers to develop and use teaching and learning material. and the fifth category is flashcard and sequence card. So now I am clicking on the flashcard and sequence card. When we click on any category, you will get the similar page. Here you can see some books are visible, digital books are visible. Here you can see the theme cards, vegetable theme card, plants theme card, and so on. So here you can see some story cards. So now I am clicking on story cards. On the right hand side you can see story cards.
The list of
story cards is appearing. So now I am clicking on any card. I am clicking on cat and monkey story.
So we have seen that there are 6 segments of this digital Jaadui Pitara, and it carries not only handbooks for teachers on how to utilize digital Jaadui Pitara, how to carry out activities, but it also carries the methodology of developing more such content. So you will get everything here. So here Dr. Prachi has opened the segment which is for sequence card. Am I right?
Yes.
This is for sequence card.
Story.
And on my right hand side you can see the complete list of these sequence cards, and these sequence cards are based on one or the other story. So you can distribute the sequence card among the children, and then you can plan the activity in your classroom as per the story which is there. So you can also ask children to use these sequence cards, sequence them in any which manner children want to sequence them, and then they based on the sequence they can create their own story. You can divide children in the group and ask them to develop their own stories around the sequence card, and they can sequence the cards in any which manner they want to explain. The another way is to tell them the story, tell them the story, the entire class the story, and then later on you can group the children in small groups and ask them to sequence the card as they appeared in the story when it was told by the teachers. So like that we can use these sequence cards to make children aware about the sequence, which to recall how the teacher told the story, and to sequence the cards in the proper manner as they appeared in the story, and also they can create new stories. So like that we are encouraging children to use vocabulary while developing the story, while creating their own stories. We are also giving them opportunity to use their imaginations while they create the story. Can we scroll down what sequence cards are there? So here you can see there are 2 cats who have placed their paws on a bread, and a monkey is sitting on a tree watching the cats fight. So then this is another card where the monkey brings the balance to divide the bread among the cats, and he weighs it. When one part is balance is heavier, he just take a piece out of the heavier part and eats it, and at the end you can see that the monkey has eaten. If we scroll further, so monkey has eaten the complete the whole bread, the entire bread, and the cats were left with nothing. So like that you can tell the story based on the sequence, and then distribute card among the students to arrange cards as they appeared in the story. So can we see one more such resource?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And some sequence card also suggest the pedagogy to the teachers. So we are going on to another segment of it, where what are we going to see?
Toys, puzzle and puppet.
Okay. Toy, puzzle and puppet section we have clicked on to. So let us see what we are getting out of it. So here there are a lot of
here you can see the toys, puzzle and puppet section. So I am clicking on puzzle section.
Yes. So
here you can see lot of resources are mapped with this puzzle section.
So lot of puzzles are listed, isn't it, Dr. Prachi?
Yes,
lot of puzzles are listed over here. So can we click on to any puzzle here and see what all is there? So we can make it full screen. So the again cat, so what a coincidence. So you can see here is a cat puzzle which is visible on this puzzle card. Can you make it a little bolder, the screen a little bolder, so that our viewers can see what is written. So how to solve, it's a jigsaw puzzle and it is written how to solve this jigsaw puzzle. So you can see here what will be the learning outcomes when they solve the jigsaw puzzle. So here you can see sensorial and motor skills will be developed, then memory and problem solving skills will be developed by doing this puzzle. Then special reasoning skills will also be developed if we make children play with this puzzle. Then creativity by finding creative solutions to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. Then patience and perseverance is another goal that we are achieving because it takes a while to complete the puzzle. So they have to be patient in joining all the parts of the puzzle. Then self-confidence by solving the puzzle. Once we solve the puzzle, complete the puzzle, join all the pieces of picture together, so it gives us a sense of achievement. So that is what we achieve by solving the puzzle. Then we can scroll, can we scroll a bit down? So here the methodology of developing this puzzle is already is also given. So teachers can take a print of this picture which is there. Can we see, scroll down where there is the big picture, bigger picture. So this is the picture. So we can take print of the picture. Can we scroll down? Yeah. So this is the picture that we have to take print of. And then what all we need to do, let us go up, scroll up. So after taking the, you can download that picture, and after downloading the picture, the sketch, then we can color the sketch, and we can also ask children to color the sketch if we want them to be part of this activity with full engagement. And then next, what will be the next step? Then we can just glue this picture on cardboard, and then we can cut 4 or more pieces out of this cardboard, and then we can distribute the pieces among the children, among the divide them in group and distribute one puzzle with each group, and then we can ask them to join the picture. So it gives them a sense of achievement when they join the picture successfully. And then we can also indulge them into discussion about the characteristics of a cat, how many legs a cat has, about her tail, about her whiskers, about her ears, about her eyes, and then the way she looks. And we can also ask them to build a story around a cat as character. So like that we can indulge children with a lot of activity while solving the puzzle. So that is one pedagogical use that we can use these puzzles and other contents in the digital Jaadui Pitara. So we can also see, while going on to the next activity, we can also see how we can download the picture from the digital Jaadui Pitara, take a print from digital Jaadui Pitara. Dr. Prachi, can you explain how to download, take print of anything which is there in digital Jaadui Pitara?
Yeah, sure. So we can share our
bigger
resources.
picture, can we take us on to the bigger picture, which was a sketch? Yes, this is the pictures to be downloaded or taken print of. So how to take print?
So for download and print, we have to click on these 3 bars. When we click on 3 bars, we will get 3 options. We can directly share these pictures to our users. We can directly download by clicking on download button. We can directly download it from the Diksha portal, and by clicking on print section, we can directly take a print from the Diksha portal. So this is how we can download and print our resources from Diksha portal. For sharing, you can see a share option at the bottom. By clicking on this, you can directly copy the link of this resource and directly share this resource through through the various portal like WhatsApp, Facebook. You can share link. You can directly share the link from the Diksha portal. So this is how we can directly download any resources from Diksha portal and share any resources from Diksha portal.
So if you want this activity to be taken care of by parents, you can share the link with parents. Everybody nowadays have the group of parents also. They are all the time in touch with the parents. So you can share the link with the parents so that they can access the picture from the link, take print and carry out this activity at home also. So during the time of vacation, such links can be shared with parents to indulge children with a lot of fruitful learning activities. So what are we going to see next, Dr. Prachi?
So ma'am,
story cards were also there, no? So it might be might be interesting for our viewers to look at some of the story cards.
Sure. So again, we have to click on sequence story card.
Not sequence, the story cards.
So we have a stories also, ma'am. So these are some stories. These are some stories in different languages also.
Okay.
So here
can we see a story in English?
Yes.
Yeah. So here we can see.
So this is the story in English language.
So we can build a lot of learning around these story which are given in different languages. So you can see here a story,
and here you can see a QR code also. So user can scan QR code and they will get the resources on their mobile phone, on Diksha app also. So we can directly scan QR code and access resources on Diksha app also.
So that is how this digital Pitara is useful to have a lot of ways to access these resources and make use of them in the classroom, at home, or by children also for self-learning and indulgence. So that is all about. So our viewers can further explore all the 6 segments of digital Jaadui Pitara, and if they have any question, they can also email us their queries and questions. We will address them. So this was brief about digital Jaadui Pitara, Simran.
So
that
quite
we have.
interesting to know that there are different segments that we can try and explore our hands on. And ma'am, there was one question from our viewer while discussing about the puzzles. Can they make number puzzles as well?
Yes, there are a lot of ways in making puzzles. Puzzles can be for mathematic learnings also, for just to improve their fine and gross motor skills also, for language learning also. So in any subject we can create a lot of puzzles. And while we will be exploring our FLN resources, so we will be showing you how the gamification can be linked with numbers as well to solve a lot of mathematical problems.
Ma'am, there was another small question from our viewers. So one of them mentioned that in the physical Jaadui Pitara, it was specially tailored for the age group 3 to 8 years of age. So is it same with the digital one as
same?
well?
Because in digital Jaadui Pitara, all the contents are taken up from physical Jaadui Pitara itself, and whatever content were felt appropriate for digitization were digitized. Like we cannot have physical puppets in digital Jaadui Pitara. They are available in physical Pitara only. We cannot have those block games physically in the digital version.
But we do have characters in the story.
We do have the guidebooks on ways how to use those physical objects which are there. We have a lot of videos also. In the videos it has been explained on how to use the objects which are there in physical Jaadui Pitara.
Okay, pretty interesting.
So it's complementary, digital Jaadui Pitara and physical Jaadui Pitara. But a lot of pictures can be, because if you have one physical Jaadui Pitara, you have one. So you might be having a set of picture cards, you might be having a set of those sequence story cards. But when we have them in digital formats, a teacher can take as many prints of those picture cards, sequence card, to use them multiple times. So anytime they can just click, download, print, use.
And also it is easily accessible.
Easily accessible also, and everything is free there. They just have to bear cost of printing.
Okay. And so ma'am, the another aspect of the program is we are discussing on FLN resources.
Yes.
So there are a lot of FLN associated resources that are available on Diksha. So ma'am, what are the learning outcomes attached with them, and also we would like to know more about these resources.
Yes. So FLN is another area of emphasis which has been highlighted in NEP 2020, because to achieve the learning outcomes meant for the children up till the class 3 is very, very important to lay a sound foundation on language and numeracy. Because language and numeracy is the foundation for any future learning that we expose our children to. If we are not good in expressing us through language and we have weakness in numbers, then it affects all our future schooling, because we express ourselves through language. Although cognitively we know a concept, but if we are not proficient in language, we will not be able to express what is there in our mind. So that is why foundational literacy and numeracy, the development of foundational literacy and numeracy has been taken up in a mission mode, and Nipun Bharat mission is the mission for the development of foundational literacy and numeracy. And as we know, everything which is important, which relates to school and teacher education, we have envisaged Diksha as one nation, one platform to house everything which relates to education. So we have developed a separate vertical on Diksha to house all the digital contents which are suitable for the development of foundational literacy and numeracy. These resources can be accessed and used by teachers as pedagogical resources. Children with the support of their parents and teachers can also access these resources for self-learning, and also we can use these resources. These resources can also be used by parents to support their children's learning. So that is how we can utilize the resources, and these resources are built around 3 developmental goals and the learning outcomes linked to those 3 developmental goals. So when I take you through this FLN vertical which is there on Diksha, you will get to know, and you can explore yourself also later, how to just get an access to these developmental goals, the learning outcomes aligned to developmental goals, and the variety of resources aligned to these learning outcomes which are related to 3 developmental goals. So the variety of contents that we have on this for FLN are infographics, worksheets, assessment sheets, bite-sized videos, and gamified learning and assessment content. So Dr. Prachi, can you take us through the FLN vertical on Diksha and just demonstrate how to access digital resources related to 3 developmental goals?
So for accessing Nipun Bharat Vision vertical, FLN vertical, we have to type diksha.gov.in. This is the home page. Here you can see the 3rd dot. When we click on 3rd dot, you will get the Nipun Bharat Mission banner. Here you can see the explore button. When we click on explore, we will land the FLN vertical page. This is the FLN vertical page. You can see. So you can see
what all are there. You can just scroll the page and show them what all is there.
Yes.
So documents are there.
Documents are there, videos are there, and regional workshop resources are there. Here you can see the about information for FLN vertical. Here you can see the developmental goal wise e-resources from class preschool 1 to class 3. When we click, here you can see, and when we scroll down, we can see the developmental goal. What is developmental goal 1, 2 and 3.
You can read out the blue part. The
yes.
Developmental
goal 1 is children maintain good health and well-being. Developmental goal 2 is children become effective communicators. Developmental goal 3 is children become involved learner and connect with their immediate environment. When we scroll down, we can see the courses related to foundational literacy and numeracy. When we click and explore, we will land the page where we can get the resource courses for foundational literacy and numeracy. Here you can see lot of resources, lot of courses are there. So when
and
we
our
will see,
viewers might already have noticed that all these 3 developmental goals are geared towards the all-round development of a child, because we cannot ignore their health and well-being, also the development of language, or whatever their native language, is, and also the we have to make them aware about their surroundings, where there are a lot of things which relates to numbers and also environmental factors. So like that, these 3 developmental goals have been designed, and we have learning outcomes. Simran had already asked this question, how learning outcomes can be achieved for foundational literacy and numeracy. So all these developmental goals have a set of learning outcomes, and the digital contents are linked to these learning outcomes only. And digital content, as I already mentioned, are in the form of infographics, assessment sheets, worksheets, bite-sized videos, gamified learning and assessment content. So Dr. Prachi, can we just take them through some of the resources which are there, some sample resources which are aligned to some specific class, developmental goal and learning outcome.
So for accessing any resources, we have to click on explore button. Now I am clicking on class 1 explore button. So we can see developmental goal wise, we can see developmental goals are appear. So now I want to see resources which are linked to developmental goal 2. So I am clicking on developmental goal 2.
And that relates to language.
Yes. So on the right hand side, we can see the list of learning outcomes are appearing. Here you can see the list.
So this list is for class 1 developmental goal 2. So like that we have a list of learning outcomes for developmental goal 2 for each of the 6 classes that we have seen on the FLN page: preschool 1, preschool 2, preschool 3, class 1, class 2 and class 3. So let us click on to any learning outcome which is there. So what is the learning outcome? Can you read out the learning outcome?
Yes, learning outcome is connects text with illustrations while reading the story.
Okay. So connects text with illustrations while reading the story is the learning outcome. And let us see what all resources are aligned to this learning outcomes. So what are we going to see first, Dr. Prachi?
We will see video resource aligned with this learning outcome.
So here is a video.
Once upon a time, there lived a happy family. They never fought with each other. They helped their parents at home and in the fields. But they were not allowed to go near a fire. They had to do all their work during the night because they were made of wax. But one of the boys wished to go out in the sunlight. One day, he planned to step out. Alas, it was too late. He melted in the hot sun. The wax children were so sad to see their brother melting away. So, they made a bird with the melted wax. They took their bird brother up to a high mountain. And as the sun rose, he flew away singing into the morning light.
Viewers, you have already watched this bite-sized videos. So we have specially created bite-sized videos for foundational learners because attention span of children at this stage is very short. So we need to have bite-sized video targeted towards specific learning outcomes. Let me recall you, the learning outcome was associates text with illustrations while reading the story. And in this picture story, you might have seen that there was a text, there was illustration related to the text, and the story was also read aloud by voiceover, which were added with this particular video resource. So like that we can use these videos to in the classroom, and then we can build a discussion around such videos. We can also share worksheets and assessment sheets to for assessment related to the same learning resource. So like that we can capitalize on learning and we can strengthen the learning which has been built through a video resource. So here in this video, this is based on an African folk tale, and there was an instance where it was said that the children were made of wax, and once one of the child was melted and their brothers made a bird out of this wax, and they just set him open in the sun. So children can ask why the bird didn't melted when he was just flown in towards the sun in the sunrise. So like that we can generate the notice whether children are thinking critically, noticing something which is not logical in a particular sequence. Then we can build around discussion around that, what can be suitable end of this story. So then that we can ask children, and we can just trigger their imagination to create a new ending of the story. So we can use the questions and queries raised by students to capitalize more on their cognitive abilities. So we can also see the
various resources which are mapped this learning
the same
outcome.
learning outcome.
Yes, ma'am.
So
we user can see we have a worksheets, assessment sheets, video and infographic. So we can see worksheet. So this is the worksheet which is aligned to same learning outcome. Match the pictures with the line from the text. So some pictures are given on the left hand side, and statements are given on the right hand side.
So they have to match text with the right picture. So this activity is also aligned to the learning outcome which is listed there. So
similarly we have assessment sheet also. So this is the assessment sheet. Choose the correct answer. User has to choose correct answer
out of the options which are given below each question. So like that we can also take print. Can you show again, click on those 3 bars and show the drop down.
Yes.
So these worksheets and assessment sheets can also be shared, downloaded and printed. So can we see a sample of some gamified contents?
Yes.
Can we see the math content?
Yes. So for math content I am clicking on developmental goal 3, which is children become involved learner and connect with their immediate environment. Here you can see the learning outcome based on developmental goal 3, class 1.
So what is the learning outcome? Can you read it aloud?
The learning outcome is compare and classifies objects or pictures based on the multiple factors and demonstrate understanding of position.
So let us watch the game build around this learning outcome. So you can again see here the learning outcome which is given here on the game as well. Compares and classifies objects, pictures based on multiple factors and demonstrates understanding of position. So can we go on to the game?
Yes. Here we can see the instruction.
Yes.
Sorting on the basis of availability of fruit in a picture in a particular season. Learner has to sort fruit on the basis of season. When we scroll down, we can see the actual game.
So the one basket is symbolizing summer and the another is winter. So we have to classify fruits in which season they come, we get them. But nowadays we get a lot of fruits in all the seasons. So then we have to, taking on this activity, we can make children aware about what is the season of growing or ripening a particular fruit, and why these fruits are classified as summer fruits or winter fruits. So can we drag the fruits in the appropriate basket? And we can do wrong also to see what happens when we put a wrong fruit in the wrong basket. So you can randomly put the fruits in both the baskets and then see, check. So when we click on to check, we will get how many rights and wrongs we have done. Right is marked with green tick and wrong is marked with red cross. So you can see the crosses and ticks. Can you scroll your cursor, bring your cursor on rights and wrongs?
Yes, this is right.
So like, yeah,
this is wrong, and here we can see the right. This one is right, this one is wrong. So we can see 5 are right answer out of 9. So we can retry it.
Yeah. So such contents can also be used for self-learning, and learning can also be carried out in the class, and discussions can be built around all such gamified activities. So like that, we have a lot of resources on the FLN vertical as well. Our viewers can explore these resources further, and if we have any queries, we can ask our viewers to have their queries. Simran, do we have some queries?
Yes, ma'am. There's one of the relevant questions on the area that we were discussing. So one of our viewers have asked us that how we can try and enhance the critical thinking ability of our students in the classroom, especially by using FLN resources.
Thinking emerges when we let children express in the classroom. If we only keep on just telling them, just explaining them, and don't give an opportunity to them to ask questions, we cannot identify whether children are thinking critically or not. Generally, if children ask some critical questions, we just discourage them to ask question, and we think that the normal classroom proceedings are being hampered. But as soon as we give them spaces to express themselves in the class, we are giving way to critical thinking. Like I mentioned in that African folk tale, children can ask question why the bird didn't melt it, because bird was also made out of the wax. So a teacher need to be prepared to take such questions and build next activity spontaneously based on the question that a child has asked. So like that, we can foster the critical thinking among children. I may also mention here one instance in a classroom, preschool classroom, where a teacher was carrying out an activity where she had made a circle of the children in the classroom. She sat in the middle of the circle and she started asking them questions about indoor and outdoor games, and children started expressing on what they considered as indoor games and what outdoor games. So a child said hockey as an indoor game. So the teacher just stopped the child and said, hockey indoor game nahi hota, hockey is not an indoor game. And then she moved on to carrying out the activity further. And the child murmured in a very suppressed voice, मैं मोबाइल पे हॉकी खेलता हूँ, कि I play hockey on mobile. So children, teachers need to be aware of the world our children are living in. They are living in a digital world, and digitally the child might be playing hockey on mobile. So instead of asking how you are considering hockey as a indoor game, teachers just snubbed him, and that just stopped a child for expressing further. So that is how we should not stop a child. We can also be prepared of asking probing questions. We should not be hurried in completing the activity that we are doing. Whatever happens while conducting an activity is also a learning process.
So I believe in this digital era, there are a lot of perspectives
Yeah.
that we need to keep our eyes and ears open to.
Yes, right.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, Prachi, ma'am, for being a part of this conversation and sharing with us all the valuable insights regarding digital Jaadui Pitara and also the FLN resources. So viewers, I hope you have enjoyed the discussion, and that is quite clear from the number of comments and the questions that have been pouring in the comment section. So we have tried our best to take all your queries. Still, if you have any questions, you may write it down in the comment section, or you may give us a call at 8800-440-559. Now it's time for me to wrap up this conversation, but before that, an important piece of information regarding the availability of NCERT textbooks. NCERT textbooks for the academic year 2023 to 2024 are available all across the country. The textbooks may be purchased directly from NCERT sales counters that are located at New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kolkata and Guwahati. The sales counters, they are functional on all the weekdays, including gazetted holidays, Saturdays and Sundays, and the timings would be 9:30 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. in the evenings. Viewers, you may also place an order online regarding the purchase, the availability of NCERT textbooks through the website that is flashing on your screens. It is ncertbooks.ncert.gov.in, and you will be able to receive all these books at your doorstep with no extra charges. If you want the soft copy or the PDF version of NCERT textbooks, then they can always be downloaded through NCERT Diksha ePathshala website and mobile application. In order to know more about the authorized vendors, do explore the website of NCERT, that is www.ncert.nic.in. Once again, a word of thanks to all of you for connecting with us. Keep watching eVidya channels and take good care of yourself. Namaskar.